When we go on a cruise, we expect great comfort and a good service.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, sometimes things don't work out the way we expect.
You're fine. You're fine.
In this video, we'll hear from Loretta, who had an unfortunate experience with Carnival Cruise. This is Eiler, and welcome to Peace Consumer Channel. Loretta, have you used Carnival Cruise before? And if so, how recently?
Since 2019, 3 years? For us, that's a long time.
Tell us, what happened and why are you unhappy?
We went on a cruise. I had the date set up back in August, and we had a great time. We love Carnival Cruise until this happened. And I'm disabled, so I can hardly get around and walk long distance. They had this smokestack that we were told by the workers hadn't been cleaned good. And so it would put out the stuff out of the charcoal out of the smokestack, and it got all over everything. And at the time, the first night, we noticed that, some stuff was on our clothes, which ruined it. And we didn't say anything until the second night. It was a 5-day cruise. And we complained to the patrons about, the issue, and they explained to us that they understood, they knew it was happening. So every night at 9:00, we sat in this little area for the smokers, and they would come around and make us, at 6:00, and make us leave so they could clean it. And I said, we all were complaining because we are limited anyway where we could smoke, limited to the section where we could smoke. And yet they were going to make us leave and go to the other side of the ship. I didn't have my chair. And I explained to them that until my fiance got back for me to get it, I couldn't go over there. And the guy kept pushing me, telling me I had to go. And I refused. So he kept saying, you have to go, or we call security. We have to clean this place. And I told him, I said, I'm not moving unless you're going to carry me. That was my exact words. Unless you want to carry me, I'm not moving. And he said, you have to go. I said, I'm disabled. I can't walk that far. So unless you're going to carry I don't know if I can say this, my big butt, I'm not moving. And so one of the ladies came up and she said, I'll take you over there in my mom's wheelchair. And I said, no, you ain't. And I said, that's up to them. So everybody started complaining, and we scattered and went to the other side. The third night, that's when we all really got mad because they did it every night. So we refused. And that next morning, I went down and complained. And I told them, how I was disabled, how they disrespected me, and how they, threatened to call security by making me want to go to the other side. And she said, well, I'm sorry that happened. They said, offered me a cake for all my clothes that were damaged. And I said, are you kidding me? A cake? I said, that's $500 worth of clothes that crap has destroyed. And I said, and that's not the main thing. I said, the worst part was when the man threatened me. And I said, I'm disabled. And I said, I have rights, more rights than you know. And I said, you can't make me get up and go to the other side when I can't walk. And I said, why y'all got to clean it at 6 o'clock? I said, why can't you do it when everybody leaves, and goes to bed or whatever in the middle of the night? I said, it's done ruined everything. It goes down into the pool area. Y'all don't make them leave. And I said, but y'all come up to the smoking area and make us leave. And she said, well, I don't know. I'm not down there. So we'll figure this out. How can we fix it? I said, leave us alone. I said, let us sit there. And I said, fix my clothes. And I said, now that we know what it is, and I said, I'm not paying for them to be washed. Well, we'll wash them, on us, and we'll give them back. Just let us know what was destroyed. And I said, I told the lady when I called her. And but she said that my shoes, I didn't tell her about. I said, she asked me so quickly, what all was destroyed. I was trying to tell her, and she just said, well, bag it up, set it outside your door. And I said, okay. And I said, but my shoes were destroyed. And I said, a lot of other things. And she said, well, just write everything down and we'll reimburse you. And I said, okay. That's the last we heard from them. They washed our clothes. We got them back the next day, that afternoon. So all we had to wear was what we had on. And so I got mad and went back down there and threw me a good fit that time. And they didn't come make us leave that night, and said that when we get back to call Carnival, file our complaint, and they'll talk to us more about it and try to help us. Well, we get back and find out that Carnival has no longer got a person you can speak to. They want you to email your complaint. And then they promise 4 to 6 weeks they will call you. They will email you and answer all your problems. We're going on 7 weeks. We've not heard a word from them except to ask us to take another cruise. So basically, that's my complaint. It's like I told them, one, discrimination, where they treated me with my disability, and two, the fact we can't talk to them. So I loved Carnival until then. So now we're looking into other cruises.
What solution to this situation do you see?
I would like to hear from Carnival, and I would like an apology for them treating me that way, because that was my main complaint. Was I felt that they should have just handled it a different way, and they could at least had the courtesy to come and or notify me and say, I'm sorry that you were treated that way. I'm not asking for them to give me a free cruise or anything. I would just like an apology for the way they treated me. Not just as a smoker, but a disabled person. That's a very big offense to me. We're limited to what we can do, and I am. And I'm very upset when I explained in depth, how I was about, and I don't like to get into it but I can't hardly walk. My hips were crushed. And when I tried to explain to the guy that I couldn't walk, it was, oh, I'm sorry, but you still have to leave. And he pissed me off. That's when I just told him, we'll call Carnival. We did. And all we got was, we'll email your complaint. That's bull crap. As big as that company is, for a major complaint like that, yeah, they should have personally made a conversation. Even our cruise director stated that all she can do is, contact them herself and let them know that we had a problem. But the best way to do was to email them. And we did that. We did what they told us that we should do. Now it's their part to contact us, and they haven't. And I think after 6 weeks, an email should have been done.
What would you recommend to the future Carnival Cruise consumers?
My best experience was every cruise and getting to know the people. But my worst part was finding out when you get on there how to go about, or who you can talk to the most if you have a problem. Because when you get off that ship, that's the last time you get to speak to anybody live. So my best advice is, if you have something to complain about, do it on the ship. And don't let them say, well, we'll contact you later, because that don't happen either. It's best to get it resolved before you leave the ship. That's my best advice.
Thank you for your honest story, Loretta. I hope the situation resolves soon. Folks, I remind you that the more views this video has, the more people will be able to see it and learn about the current issues. Also, it will be a strong reminder and a signal for the companies to improve their service. So please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and comment about your experience with cruises. If you like our videos, you can help us financially. The donation link is in the description. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.